Okay, Kobe.
Good evening, and welcome to another lecture given by the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research Incorporated. First off, this is a school, not a church, and we're not associated with any church organizations, Jehovah's Witnesses, or any other denominations that you have taught in the world today. This school was founded in the year of 1931 by Dr. Henry C. Kennedy, who was given a divine vision and revelation direct from Yahweh. The charts you see totally illustrated before you are the results of that divine vision and revelation. We have schools operating in various states in the United States and also in various parts of the world. I will be explaining the names you see here. Yahweh is the true and correct original Hebrew name of our Heavenly Father, which was once laid down in the scriptures. We have Yahweh symbolized as a cloud on this chart because Yahweh symbolized himself as a cloud in many passages of the Bible. We have the cloud standing all around the edge of the chart because everything on the chart is within the cloud, just as everything that exists exists within the pure spirit state of Yahweh. In this pure spirit state, Yahweh has no descriptive shape or form in which he is the ultimate source and substance, the limits and the bounds of everything that exists. Now, when your translators have come across the true and correct original name of our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, they have usually inserted the English title, Lord. Yahweh is taking on a super incorporeal shape and form within himself as the word of the Son is Elohim. Now, super incorporeal means without physical flesh and blood. And in this state, Yahweh Elohim he can only be seen through divine visions and revelation. Well, he can only be seen through divine visions and revelations. As stated in Exodus 24:9 and 10, and when Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the Elohim of Israel. Now remember, they saw Elohim in a divine vision and revelation. Now when your translators has come across the true and correct divine title for Yahweh in shape or form, known as Elohim, they've usually inserted the English title, God. Yahweh Elohim manifested in the physical body as the Savior of the world, as Yahshua the Messiah. As stated in John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh. And in the 14th verse, the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory as of the only begotten Father, full of grace and truth. Now, when translators have come across the true and correct name of our Savior, Yahshua the Messiah, they have used it in certain false and erroneous names, such as Jesus Christ. But remember, Yahweh in pure spirit as the Father, Yahweh taking on a super incorporeal shape and form within himself as the word of the Son as Elohim, and Yahweh manifested in the physical body as the Savior of the world as Yahshua the Messiah. Yahweh in his two manifestations, but one spirit, as stated in 1 John 5:7, for there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit, and these three are one. Now, a minor investigation on your part proves to you beyond a shadow of a doubt that the name and titles we teach here are true and correct, but that the names and titles that you have taught in the world are false and erroneous. For an example, look up the letter J. It is not and never has been in any part of the Hebrew language. Did not come into existence into any language prior to the Middle Ages. Therefore, such names as Jesus and Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true and correct original heavenly name of our Father Yahweh and his Son, Yahshua the Messiah, our aims.
The primary constitutional aims and objectives of the Institute are: 1. To help you find and know Yahweh or Elohim as he really is and actually exists. 2. To form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua Messiah without distinction of race or nationality, sex, creed, caste, or color. 3. To investigate the unexplained spirit law or so-called law of nature and the powers laid in man. 4. To encourage and promote the studies of the scriptures, comparative religion, psychology, philosophy, and modern, practical, and occult science. 5. To exacerbate current superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. 6. To learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. 7. To discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons, operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. 8. Earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith, which was once delivered unto the sons or children of Yahweh. 9. To make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, save in the name of Yahshua Messiah. 10. To inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. Our watchword is peace, and our slogan is speak the truth.
Scripture lesson would be Hebrews 11 chapter. Now we have prayer by Dr. Mamir Coleman.
May we bow our hearts and minds. Dear Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through your Son, Yahshua the Messiah, I want to say thank you for everything that you have done for us, the understanding and knowledge of your purpose, pattern, and plan, the things that you have got us through, and the things that you're going to get us through, the peace, the assurance, the safety, the knowledge and understanding, the stability, and the times that we're faced with now, and giving us peace through this chaos that we're facing down here. And we ask you to please give us your strength to endure and to fight and to continue, and not to take heed to seducing spirits or fall short or slip. Just like the doxology, now unto him who is able to keep you from falling. Please continue to keep us and present us faultless. And all that we say in your Son's name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. The scripture lesson is Hebrews 11th chapter. I'll be reading from the Holy Name Bible containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testaments, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts, revised by the late A.B. Traynor, the Scripture Research Association, Incorporated. Hebrews 11th chapter. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the ages were ordained by the word of Elohim, so that things which were not in evidence are now seen coming to pass. By faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he contained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased Yahweh. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned by Yahweh of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should afterward receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had an opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly. Wherefore, Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their Elohim, for he hath prepared for them a city. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. But by faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a promising child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of the Messiah greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is visible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, attempting to do, were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the hostess Rahab perished not with them that were disobedient when she had received the spies with peace. And what shall I say more? For the time will fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. Yahweh having provided some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. Hebrews 11 chapter.
All right, hallelujah. I always love that chapter. Okay, so everybody, well, not everybody, I know some of y'all read, y'all waiting on questions and things like that, but I had an idea that since when we went over the stuff from last week, I don't think it was quite clear on for everybody to get it. So if you didn't understand it, that's fine. We can go over it. If you did, that's cool too. But so let's talk about it for a second. Did everybody kind of understand what we went through last week about showing the days of the creation by the pattern? Anybody want to go over it again, or anybody got any questions about it? Everybody good?
Like, I think going over it again will help understand it better. Because,
Okay.
I mean, it is a lot to take in at one time. So
It
I
is.
think the more you go over it, the more comfortable you'll be with it.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna need Genesis the 1st chapter, and then somebody else get Exodus the 25th chapter. So what we'll do first, let me see if I can draw this.
I can get the 25th chapter.
Okay. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can draw this. 1, 2, 3. Y'all can see my screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
6. So let's do Genesis, the first chapter, all the way through first, and pick up that pattern first, and then we'll do how Moses saw it by the pattern. Olivia, you weren't here last week, right?
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Okay, perfect. So this will actually be good then. So that means you'll get a chance to catch up what you missed last week. Perfect. Cool. All right, so Genesis first chapter. Let's get started.
Okay. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided between the light and between the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And Elohim said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters."
Okay, Paul, we're gonna pause. We don't want to go too fast. So on the
Okay.
first day, you got light and darkness. He said, "Let there be light." And again, why did he not say, "Let there be darkness"? Can somebody tell me?
Because there already was darkness.
Darkness was already there. He didn't have to say, "Let there be darkness." Darkness was already on the face of the deep. And the earth was without form and it was void. So that means there was no shape, no form. And the only reason Moses understood to say that, because when Moses first saw it, he couldn't see. It was just a big conglomerate mass. It wasn't he didn't see anything. There was no earth when he saw it. But the only reason he wrote the earth was without form and void is because he was made to understand what it was after he received the vision. And so when he wrote it, he wrote that the earth was without form and void. But when he first saw it, he didn't know if it was earth. He didn't know what it was until Yahweh told him. And so he just saw this big conglomerate mass, and it was darkness upon it. And Elohim said, "Let there be light." And he separated the light from the darkness. The light he called, what did he call the light? Day. And the dark, y'all can unmute yourselves. We're gonna interact with each other. Everybody unmute yourself if you want to. Light called day, darkness he called night. And the evening and morning was the first day. All right, second day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I start 6th verse. And Elohim said,
Okay.
"Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
Okay, pause. So we got water, firmament. It's so hard to write on the screen. And water. So water above the firmament, water beneath the firmament, and we found out that the firmament is what? Heaven? The heaven?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if Yahweh didn't create the heavens until the second day, what was the light? What was the day and the night? What was the light and the darkness? What was it abiding in? That's another question for later on. Okay. All right. Keep reading. I want y'all to think about that, though. Think about it. If Yahweh lives in heaven, if Yahweh dwells in heaven, heaven is his dwelling place. But he didn't create it till the second day. He didn't create the firmament or heavens till the second day. What was he abiding in at the time? Think about that. We'll talk about it later, hopefully at the end of this session. But keep reading.
Okay, 9th verse. And Elohim said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And Elohim called the dry portion earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw the...
Pause. So on the third day, we have a double operation. So the first thing that he did, double operation means there's two different things that he's doing in one particular day. And so the very first thing, he called the waters that are beneath the firmament to gather together. And then the dry land appeared, which he called earth. And the waters that he gathered together, he called those seas. Okay, so you got earth and seas. What did he do on the second part that he did on that day was what? Keep reading.
And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth tender grass, the herb yielding seed, the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth tender grass, herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day.
Pause. So now the second part of that day, he calls the grass to grow on the earth, and then he put the trees in, the herbs and everything. The trees had the seed within himself to bring forth trees after its own kind. So an apple tree can only produce another apple tree. An orange tree can only produce another orange tree, banana tree, right? Let's think about how, for these trees to bring forth more trees. Can somebody tell me, how does that happen? How can an apple tree bring forth another apple tree? What has to happen first?
Usually the seed falls to the ground, or the seed had to be planted, or...
Well, an apple tree ain't gonna plant its own seed, so something has to happen with the apple tree.
It's when the apples fall down and the berries in the ground.
The apple has to fall to the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And once it falls, what happens to it once it falls and it's not connected to its tree, its roots anymore? After it falls, then what?
There's a death, and then
it dies.
The seed has to be buried some type of way, usually, and then
the seed is buried. Exactly. So first you have to have a fall, then you have to have a death, and then it's buried, and then it resurrects in order for it to bring forth fruit after its own kind. Is that right?
Yes.
Now follow where we're going here, okay? All right, let's get the fourth day.
Okay. 14th verse. And Elohim said, let the lights in the firmament of the heavens separate the day from the night, and they will be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Elohim made to appear two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. And Elohim set them.
Pause for just a second. So what you're going to see, Yahweh's pattern is always 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 is 1, 3, and 1, 3, and 1, right? And so that means after the first, second, third day, you have to repeat itself. So the fourth, fifth, and sixth day has to be the same as the first, second, third day. So you should have something with light and darkness on the fourth day. You should have something with the firmament, waters above, waters beneath on the fifth day. You have to have something with the earth or the grass, the trees, or something. Something has to resemble the third day. And it has to be at least a double operation in the sixth day as well, because the third day has a double operation. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Yep. So far, y'all good on that so far? Okay. And so with that being said, Yahweh, if Yahweh has a pattern he's operating by, this is part of that pattern that he showed Moses, the creation coming in by the pattern. But also, we're going to pick up when he actually made the tabernacle pattern, we're going to find out how Yahweh actually did everything by the pattern as well. So you have on the fourth day, I'm pointing to it like y'all can see what I'm pointing to. I'm pointing my finger. Y'all can't see me. I'm going to point with the arrow. So on this first day, you have light and darkness being separated. Mm-hmm. Light he called day, darkness he called night. So it's like he built a house, and now this is like the furniture he's putting in the house. So now he has the two lights. He's putting the sun in the daytime to give light in the daytime, and he's putting the moon in the darkness to rule the night or the darkness. And then he has the stars also. Okay, so those actually match. And so you got the sun to rule the day, the moon to rule the night. And what does darkness represent? Can somebody tell me what darkness represents?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Darkness represents ignorance. Right? And then so light represents what?
Intelligence.
Understanding.
Intelligence. Understanding or intelligence. Right. Understanding or intelligence. So, of course, you have the sun, which rules the light or the understanding or the intelligence, which is Joshua. And the moon represents the law. And so the law is what governed the people when they were in ignorance, when they didn't know Yahweh. That's why Yahweh gave them that law, is because they had no clue. They were in darkness. They had no clue. They didn't have an understanding. So, but keep reading. I don't want to get off track. We got a lot of ground to cover today. Go ahead, Amber.
17th verse.
What?
And Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to lighten the earth, and to rule by day and by night, and to separate between light and between darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Elohim said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and birds that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heavens. And Elohim created great sea monsters and every living creature that swarms, with which the waters swarmed, after their kind, and every winged bird after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
So now he's putting the furniture in what he built on the second day. Now he's putting the sea monsters and the fish and all that in the water that he made on the second day. And he's also putting birds in the firmament that he made on the second day. So now he's putting the furniture in what he built on the second day. So you got the birds, and you got the fish and all of that, right? Got it. All right, so 6 days, it has to have a double operation. Let's find out what this double operation is. Keep reading, Amber.
Okay. And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and increase and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply in the earth. And the evening and the day, and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the ground after their kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image after
Pause
our...
for just a second.
Yeah.
Pause. So that was the first part of the 6th day, which represents the first part of the 3rd day. So now he made the earth on the 3rd day. Now he has to actually put the beasts and the cattle in the earth. So he's putting the furniture and what he made on the 1st day. Now we have to have something to resemble the trees with the seed within itself, or the grass. This double portion, the double operation has to match the double operation on the 3rd day. So let's see what the double operation is. He said, let us make man in our likeness and image. Read.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he him. And Elohim blessed
Adam
him.
was, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. And Elohim blessed him, and Elohim said unto him, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. Keep going. One more verse. Okay. And Elohim said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping thing upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for food, and it was so. And Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day.
Okay, perfect. That's good. All right, so let's see. Male. Ooh. And female. I just messed that up. Anyway, y'all get the point. So Adam was made male and female, right?
Yeah.
So which is the same thing as a tree having the seed within themselves. So Yahweh Elohim created the man with the woman or the seed within himself. And so y'all, do y'all follow what I'm saying? How this matches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how they actually coincide with each other? Are y'all following that?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody good? Everybody good? If you're not, say no.
I'm good.
Everybody good? Okay, cool. All right, so this is the pattern: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They all coincide with each other. So let's look at the chart here. Same thing. You have the first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, and sixth day. That's why above this on the chart, can y'all see the chart okay? It says creation by the pattern. Because Yahweh showed Moses the creation by the pattern, by this pattern here, by the tabernacle pattern. That's how he showed it. And so the tabernacle pattern is 1, 2, 3, just one tabernacle. So of course you got 1, 2, 3, and then you have to have another 1, 2, 3. It's got to actually line up with each other. Also, another thing too, when he put the sun in on the fourth day, he did the same thing with Yahshua the Messiah. The Messiah actually, where's my, I don't know, my age of dispensation. Wrong way. There we go. Nope, that ain't it. Age of dispensation. The Messiah also came in the 4,000th year, or at the beginning of the fourth, well, his death, burial, resurrection was at the beginning of the fourth age. So he came in the 4,000th year. So it's 4,000 years from Adam all the way down to the Messiah. And Yahweh said, one day is like unto 1,000 years. 1,000 years is like unto one day. So if it was 4,000 years, that's like 4 days with Yahweh. And so on the fourth day of the 4,000th year, Yahweh brought the sun in. But the whole time before the Messiah came in, it was that law that was governing them that Yahweh had given unto Moses. That law governed them here, which is like unto the moon giving light in the night or in the darkness. All right, so let's get off of that. All right, so now we're going to see how Yahweh brought the creation in by the pattern, the tabernacle pattern. So Amber, Sean, if you can start the 25th chapter for me. Amber, start the first verse of Genesis, the first chapter, one more time, and we're going to pause.
Okay. We're going to do one day at a time again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good, and Elohim divided between the light and between the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
Okay, thank you, Paul. So when Sean gets ready to read the 25th chapter, we have to keep in mind what Amber just read and look at the tabernacle pattern here and see how Yahweh actually structured it. Now, the gold, the silver, the purple, the blue, the scarlet, the linen, everything that they used to create this tabernacle pattern was the same substance. Remember when the children of Israel came up out of Egypt in the 12th through the 14th chapter of Exodus, and Yahweh told them to spoil the Egyptians and get the gold, the silver, the linen, the everything from the children of Israel? Mm-hmm. Remember that? Mm-hmm. So that same substance down here that they got from the children of Israel is the same substance that they used to build the structures of the tabernacle. They use the same substance that they got down here to build a tabernacle. But pay attention though. They also used some of that gold to build this golden calf, which was idolatry or evil, right? And so this substance had no particular shape or form down here at all before they got out here to build a tabernacle. What is that talking about? Yahweh in his pure spirit state has no particular shape or form at all in his pure spirit state. He's intelligence, he's wisdom, he's knowledge, he's love, he's beauty, he's justice, power, foundation, and strength. But all of these attributes, they had no particular shape or form at all. And then when he took on an organized shape and form as Elohim, actually this tabernacle pattern represents the body of Elohim. And so that means that all this substance that they had down in Egypt was likened to Yahweh in his pure spirit state, having no shape or form whatsoever. But Yahweh's spirit actually took on shape and form as Elohim. So when you look at Elohim, Elohim is the Father, the Word of Son, and the Holy Spirit embodied in one. This is Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahshua all in one. Because it's Yahweh that took on shape and form, so you have Yahweh the Father. And he's the source of all things that came forth after him. He's the source of everything, so he's the Father. And then he's also the Word of the Son. In John 1:1, we read it. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh. So this is Yahweh and Elohim all in one. And in the 14th verse, the same Word was made flesh. And so this is Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua embodied in one. So you have three in one here, right? Same thing, you have the most holy place, the holy place, and court round about, giving you three different compartments for just one tabernacle. You follow what I'm saying? Y'all follow me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody good? If not, y'all stop me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I want you guys to understand it. So when Sean gets ready to read, Amber just said the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And he separated between the light and the darkness. In this tabernacle, let's go back to the bigger tabernacle. In this tabernacle here, I showed y'all the picture of the tabernacle before, right? How this actually was covered up. This is a tent, a big tent that was covered up that you could not see anything. And this court goes around the whole entire tent. You have pretty much like a fence, like a boarded fence going around this whole tent here. In this most holy place, because you have these curtains here and it was covered up, it was completely dark in here. Even when the high priest had to go in and officiate, it was complete darkness there. He couldn't even see anything. The only reason he knew which way to move because Yahweh had ordered his steps. So it was completely dark in here. And when he finished the office of the priesthood on the Day of Atonement, if it pleased Yahweh, there was a Shekinah flash here or a flash of light here. Okay, so that's important when we read what we're getting ready to read. So it's completely dark here in the most holy place. All right, so read what you got, Sean, 25th chapter of Exodus, first verse.
Okay. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly, with his heart ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, oink stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I shew thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half the length thereof, and a cubit.
So pause for just a second. So everything that Sean read first is the offering that they had to offer. So they had to give all the things that they had, all the substance that they had. And so this is it being without form and void here. And so the earth was without form and it was void, right? So all this substance was without form first and it was void, meaning it didn't have any particular shape or form first. So this is Yahweh showing Moses the creation by the tabernacle pattern. All right. And so now the first thing that he made was the Ark of the Covenant, right? He had to make the Ark of shittim wood, and then he had to overlay it with gold. Then he had to make the staves for it. Then he had to actually put the Ark, he had to do the mercy seat that goes on top, and then the 2 cherubim. So the first thing he built was this 3-in-1 configuration of the Ark of the Covenant. You had the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat on top, and Michael and Gabriel, the 2 archangels on top. The 3-in-1 configuration is the first thing he made on that particular, in the tabernacle pattern. The very next thing he made in this chapter, because each chapter should match the first, second, third, fourth, fifth day. 25th chapter has to match the first day. And so the next thing he made after he made the 3-in-1 Ark of the Covenant, the next thing he made was, where am I? Say dishes. Oh, the table. Where is the table? The table. So the next thing he made was a table of showbread. Okay. That was the next thing he made. And then the next thing after that was the candlestick. So in the 25th chapter of Genesis, Yahweh showing Moses by the pattern that he made the 3-in-1 configuration of the Ark of the Covenant, the table of showbread, and the candlestick. These 3 vessels in the tabernacle represent light. Of course, he had to separate the light from the darkness. And I told you in here was completely dark. And that Shekinah flash gives you a flash of light. So Yahweh separated the light from the darkness. And he didn't say, let there be dark. He didn't have to create darkness. It was already there, right? And so it was already dark in here. He just had to place this piece in the darkness itself. And so now he's actually showing between the light and the darkness here. Same thing, of course, we know the candlestick represents light automatically because it gives off light. And the table of showbread, when the high priest had to come in and eat from this showbread, this table, it gave him life or light or substance. So all 3 of these vessels represent light, showing you that Yahweh actually really did bring the creation in by the pattern. The 26th chapter should match the 2nd day. So Amber, if you could read the 2nd day for me, and Sean, jump over to the 26th chapter.
Okay. I'm going to start at Genesis 1:7.
Okay.
And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the 2nd day.
All right. So Yahweh separated the waters from above the firmament, from the waters beneath the firmament, and put the firmament in the midst, which is called heaven, right? And so in the 26th chapter, we have to see something that represents the firmament. Something has to represent the firmament. And let's read it, Sean, 26th chapter of Exodus. We have to find something that represents the firmament. What we got?
Okay. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, in blue, and purple, and scarlet. With cherubims of skillful work shalt thou make them. The length of one curtain shall be 8 and 20 cubits, and the breadth of one.
That's good. You don't have to read the length and all that. So basically, the next thing he showed Moses was the curtains that he made, and the color of the curtains were blue, purple, and scarlet, and he had to put cherubims or angels embroidered in that curtain. And that's the only thing he talked about in the 26th chapter. He's talking about the loops in them, the loops and the boops, and the veil and blue, purple, and scarlet. That's everything he showed in the 26th chapter. So that's the only thing that goes with the 2nd day. And so blue, purple, and scarlet curtains, how does that represent the firmament? Whenever you see the sun rise or set in the sky, what color is the sky?
Blue, purple.
It's always going to be blue, purple, and scarlet every time. You can't get any other colors from that. It's going to always be blue, purple, and scarlet. So that represents the firmament. So let's go back here. So see how you got the blue, purple, and scarlet curtains here? And you see how you have those angels embroidered in it? Didn't Yahweh put the birds in the firmament or in the heaven, which represents the blue, purple, and scarlet curtains? And so that's how he's showing Moses how he created this by the pattern. So each chapter, 25 has to match the first day, 26 has to match the 2nd day, 27 has to match the 3rd day, 28 has to match the 4th day, 29 matches the 5th day, 30 matches the 6th day. And so let's keep going.
Deep.
Amber, read, but it's beautiful. Amber, read the 3rd day for me.
Okay.
It is.
Genesis
Really
1:9. And Elohim said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Elohim called the dry portion earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. You want to do one part at a time, or go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth tender grass, the herb yielding seed, the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth tender grass, herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day.
Perfect. All right, Sean. Let's go over to the next chapter, 27th chapter. What is the next thing he made?
And thou shalt make the altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. Its horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make its pans to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its flesh
That's
hooks.
good. That's good. So now the next thing he made in the tabernacle, because it has to represent something with the earth and all that kind of stuff, because that was what he did on the next day. And so now he made the altar of sacrifice, and if you keep on reading, he also put the boards around to make the court roundabout of the tabernacle. Okay, and so this whole entire chapter is about the court roundabout and the altar of sacrifice. So let's look at the tabernacle. It's here, right? In the court roundabout. And so the court roundabout also represents the earth plane in the body of Elohim. And so, of course, the court roundabout matches the earth plane. And also in earth, you have a continuous burning of earth's core. And just like this altar of sacrifice, it had a burning fire. This fire could never be put out. Those coals could never be put out, which represents the earth plane or the earth. So that actually matches the earth as well. So we're still going. He's showing them how he created it by the pattern. The very next day, Amber.
Okay.
And then Sean skips to the next chapter.
All right, Genesis 1:14. And Elohim said, let the lights in the firmament of the heavens separate the day from the night, and they will be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Elohim made to appear 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to lighten the earth, and to rule by day and by night, and to separate between light and between darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
Perfect. And so we got on the 4th day, we've got the 2 great lights, one greater light and the lesser light, and they have to be placed in the firmament. Is that correct? And we know that the firmament represents the blue, purple, and scarlet that's in the tabernacle, right? So we got to see something. When Sean reads, we have to see something that matches the first day. So the first day, Yahweh told Moses what matches the first day. He had to make this mercy seat here, this 3-in-1 configuration of the Ark of the Covenant, the table of showbread, and the candlestick here, right? That was on the first day. So this is the 4th day has to match the first day, right? And he told the lights had to rule over the day and the night. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to see something to coincide with ruling over these 3 vessels here. And they have to be placed in the firmament. So read what you got, Sean, in the 28th chapter. It's 28th chapter, right?
Yes.
Okay, 28th chapter of Exodus.
And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, and Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen, with skillful work.
Pause. That's good. All right. So what we're looking at here is the same thing Moses saw with the creation. And so Aaron is the greater light, or he's the high priest, which is likened to the sun. And Aaron's job was to actually, on the Day of Atonement, he was the only one that can go into the most holy place on the Day of Atonement and actually offer blood on this piece here, which represents the sun being placed in to rule by day. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? So Aaron is representing the sun ruling by day, and his sons are representing the moon, or the lesser light, to rule by night. And so the lesser light, the low priests, they were the ones that had to actually help with the other vessels. Now follow what I'm saying? And those other men are likened to the stars that were actually have to, build those different things that they had them to do. And guess what they had to put on? They had to be placed in what color clothes? Blue, purple, and scarlet. Aaron and his sons had to be placed in blue, purple, and scarlet, showing forth the sun and the moon had to be placed in the firmament, which is blue, purple, and scarlet. You follow what I'm saying? And so those two great lights, the greater light was being Aaron, the lesser light being his sons, they had to put on blue, purple, and scarlet, just like on the fourth day, the sun and the moon was put into the sky, or the firmament. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? Does anybody have any questions about what I just said? Are y'all following what I'm saying?
Yep.
Pause me if you don't. Okay. All right. So is it becoming more and more clear the more we go over it, since this is the second time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kobe, you good? You got it? Oh. All right, cool. All right, and so then he's telling them what all to do with the clothes and things like that. So the very next day has to match the fifth day. Now on the fifth day, go ahead and read it, Amber.
Okay. 20th verse. And Elohim said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures and birds that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heavens. And Elohim created great sea monsters and every living creature that swarms, with which the waters swarmed, after their kind, and every winged bird after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
Okay, so when Moses sees Yahweh putting animals in water, then you have to have some animals going into some water when Sean reads. We have to see animals going into water, because that's what Yahweh did on the fifth day. All right, Sean, let's read the 29th chapter and see what we got on the 29th chapter.
All right. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest office. Take one young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread, and cakes unleavened, tempered with oil, and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil. Of wheaten flour shalt thou make them, and thou shalt put them into one basket, and bring them in the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the meeting tent of the congregation, and shalt wash them with water. And thou shalt...
Wait a minute. He putting some animals in water? Oh, okay. So he had to put the animals in the water. So that was the next thing that he had to show Moses by the pattern. He had to put those animals, he's washing the animals in the water. We got so much ground to cover. Good night. We're not going to be able to get through it. None of this. All right. So now he sees he has the animals washed in water with the tabernacle, which matches the exact same thing he showed him in the creation. He made the creation. All right. Let's hurry and finish this up. Amber, go ahead and read the next day so we can finish this up, because I got a lot of we run out of time.
24th verse. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the ground after their kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he him. And Elohim blessed him, and Elohim said unto him, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And Elohim said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping thing upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. And Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
Perfect. All right, before we let Sean read, it brought back to mind what I was trying to bring out a minute ago. Remember on the third day, how the seeds themselves, and we said in order for an apple tree to bring forth another apple tree, what has to happen? It has to fall first, and then it has to die, and then be buried, and all that kind of stuff. So when Yahweh told Adam to be fruitful and multiply, he had the seed within himself. So how is he going to do that? So that's why Yahweh brought the woman out of the man, and still they didn't even know they had a body on yet. So how were they going to be fruitful and multiply? What had to happen first? They had to fall first, right? Mm-hmm. And so that transgression, and they failed in their consciousness. And after they failed, that was a death. They died in their consciousness. And they were buried all the way down to the Messiah. And when the Messiah came in, and his death, burial, and resurrection, that's when he brought Adam back up. Once he resurrected, he picked up Adam and everybody from Adam all the way down. He picked them up on that side of the cross. And then he did the same thing for those on the other side. So you have to have a fall, a death, a burial, and a resurrection. Same thing with Adam. But that is not my point. We're going to go to the 30th chapter, Sean.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay. And thou shalt make an altar. Oh, sorry. All right. And thou shalt make an altar to burn incense upon, of shittim wood shalt thou make it. A cubit shall be its length, and a cubit its breadth. 4 square shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be its height. Its horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay with pure gold its top and its sides round about, and its horns. And thou shalt make unto it a crown of gold round about. And 2 golden rings shalt thou make to it under the crown of it, by the 2 edges thereof. Upon the 2 sides of it thou shalt make it. And they shall be for places for the staves to bear it with. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. And Aaron shall burn their own sweet incense every morning. When he dresseth the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron...
Okay, so pause. You can pause for a second. So the next thing he made was the altar of incense. And then he talks about, they couldn't put that on anybody's flesh and things like that. And then he told them to take 2 shekels of gold from everybody and give it unto the priest as an offering unto Yahweh, which shows forth. So the altar of incense, what that's talking about, when Yahweh made the man Adam, he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And that incense, the altar of incense, represents the lungs. So that represents him breathing in the man, breathing in him the breath of life, or the making intercession for him. And then, of course, the half shekel that he had them to bring of every person as an offering, he said he blessed the man, Adam, and that's showing forth the blessing. And then, of course, the brazen laver, he made the brazen laver next, and then he had the cup of holy anointing oil and all those things like that. And so basically, everything that he showed Moses, that's the reason why it says creation by the pattern. Each day that Yahweh showed him, like when he said, let there be light, and he said this, he saw that, saw this, saw that. He's actually showing Moses how he really did bring the creation in by this tabernacle pattern. Because on those 6 days, because remember how we read in the 24th chapter of Exodus, how did the cloud cover it 6 days? And Moses was up in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Those first 6 days that he was up in the mountain, this is what he saw on those 6 days. The 7th day he rested. But the other 33 days, is when Yahweh turned his attention to this tabernacle pattern, which you pick up in the 25th chapter of Exodus all the way to the 31st chapter of Exodus. And so those chapters were the rest of the vision that he saw. So Adam only saw it up until him creating Adam. He didn't see Satan yet in the garden. He didn't see, Satan beguiled the woman. He didn't see any of that yet. And so when we started our reading, I think we started reading the 32nd chapter of Exodus. Mm-hmm. All right. So, because we read the 31st chapter and all of that, and he'd already read that from last week, right? And so he told, he gave Moses the 2 tables of stones that Yahweh had written in. And now he told him about keeping the Sabbaths and things like that. 6 days shall man work, and on the 7th day they shall rest, because it's holy unto Yahweh. And he gave that commandment to who? Moses. That was only to Israel, right?
Yeah, children of Israel.
Children of Israel and children of Israel only. He says, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbath ye shall keep, the children of Israel, not the world. For it is a sign between me and you, not between me and the world, between me and you, throughout your generations, not everybody's generations, but your generations, that ye may know. Because Yahweh, he's specific when he talks about certain things. Now, here he said they should keep it between your generations. When he told Moses in the 3rd chapter of Exodus, he said all generations. Mm-hmm. Not just your generations, but all generations. He made a distinction between which generations he was talking about. So when he said, my name is forever, this is my name forever, and to all generations, he didn't say to your generations. He said to all generations, which covers everybody in the whole world. This is only for Israel and Israel only when it says your generations. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, 32nd chapter, let's pick this up real quick. I'm going to show y'all the questions. Well, we're going to play a game. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know how y'all going to be ready. Y'all don't know what the game is. All right, so these are the questions. Y'all might as well be ready. So these are the questions that we have. If I can scroll back here. We're going to play Pass It Around. Y'all know what pass? Y'all never play Pass It Around?
What that is? We played it before?
Yeah. No, y'all never played it before. Not us, no. So Pass It Around. What Pass It Around is? Pass It Around means, you said what?
No.
I don't like you. So Pass It Around means is you have to, like, say for instance, I may start it off. I may ask Amber a question first. When she answers the question, or if she doesn't know the answer, she could pass it off to somebody else. Or if she does get the question right, she still has to pass the next question to somebody else. Y'all gonna pass it around and see who's gonna get the most points. Okay?
At school,
pass it around.
Popcorn.
Pass it around.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Yeah, we call it popcorn.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Popcorn. Pass it around.
Yeah.
Pass it around.
Just pop up and ask somebody a question, like, or So
okay. So y'all see who all is okay. So we're gonna read the chapters first. Y'all see the questions in front of y'all, and there's nothing wrong if you don't know the answer. That's fine. Just say I don't know. Pass it to somebody else. All right. So we have Jaden, Olivia, Paige, Q, Amir, Travis, Sean, Colby, Amber, Aaron, still with you?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, where's Jante? Okay, and Jantae was still here. Okay, he's still here too. Okay, Jantae was too. All right. Y'all ready? Okay, or does it help y'all to see the questions, or do y'all want to just take off the screen so y'all can see each other?
Nah, see the questions.
No, see the questions.
So you can get prepared. Be prepared. We trying to be on our PQs out here.
All right, let's do it then. All right, right. So 32nd chapter of Exodus. I need everybody to participate and help and read, please. So who wants to read 32nd chapter for us, please? Pretty lengthy, 35 verses. Who wants to go first and read for me?
I will if nobody else wants to. I don't mind reading.
All right. Okay.
You just read the whole chapter?
Yes. And only because y'all was reading the Bible, I didn't get y'all for cussing. Amber cussed last week. Sean cussed this week. That's only because we're reading about. That's it.
Okay.
Y'all said shit 'em wood. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Amir said,
All right.
"Ass," like week before,
He-
you know.
He
That's a
did.
real
He really
cuss
did.
Don't throw
He
me
did.
in there.
He did.
Don't throw me in. I'm not even.
Now you know your partner gonna throw you under the bus. All right.
All right.
All right.
Exodus.
Here we go.
Exodus
32 and 1. All
Okay.
right.
And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us deities which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them,
Sam, can you bring me my charger?
And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it in a mold. And he made of it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy Elohim, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahweh. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to celebrate. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy El, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses besought Yahweh his Elohim, and said, Yahweh, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath, and reconsider of this evil against thy people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahweh reconsidered of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. And the tables were the work of Elohim, and the writing was the writing of Elohim, graven upon the tables. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, There is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, It is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger grew hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strewed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, What did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, Let not the anger of my sire grow hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are prone to evil. For they said unto me, Make us Elohim, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. And I said unto them, Whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were stripped, for Aaron had caused them to be stripped in their orgy, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, Who is on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, Thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses had said, Consecrate your hands today to Yahweh, even against your son or brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahweh. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto Yahweh and said, O this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them idols of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them. And Yahweh plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what we got. All right, who wants to take the first question? Jacoby, why did the children of Israel tell Aaron to make them God or Elohim?
Do I have a time limit?
Huh? Yeah, you ain't got all day. Yeah, you ain't got all day though. But if you want to pass it, you can pass it. Just don't trust me. I'm sure you're gonna get it passed back to you soon. Huh?
When people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mountain.
Yep, because they saw Moses delayed to come down out of the mountain. Very good. Jacoby got a point.
Yeah.
All right, pass it.
So I popcorn somebody.
Who?
Popcorn, peanut.
Peanut?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Peanut? Peanut?
Peanut is knocked out.
Peanut is asleep. You're going to have to popcorn somebody else, Kobe. Popcorn somebody else.
Popcorn.
No. Sean? All right, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
What law did they break? Sean, what law did they break by worshiping the golden calf? Give me the chapter and verse.
Okay. You said which law did they break by worshiping the calf?
Mm-hmm. Y'all better be looking for the answer in case we get popcorn back to you, Kobe. Y'all better be looking for it.
I'm sitting here thinking right now.
Oh, you thinking? You got to think.
Yeah,
You thinking about it?
Is
Thinking about it?
No, I'm thinking about where I would like where everything at.
Well,
where they worship the sin? They sin where they worship false idols.
What law is that? What does the law say? And what chapter and verse is it? If you don't know it, you can popcorn it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, popcorn.
I'll pass it to Amber.
Amber?
I got Exodus 20th chapter, 4th verse. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven idol or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Boom, 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 pow, 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 pow. Very good. So who all did a report on the 20th chapter of Exodus? Who was that? Who had the 20th chapter?
One at Tim and Q.
Any of y'all? I know Q did have the 20th chapter, and he didn't. Now he didn't get popcorn him. I know he knew the answer though. Never mind. I was gonna give him. I'm like, he didn't say nothing. Oh, he didn't say nothing. Oh, but I forgot you didn't. You weren't popcorn. All right. So very good. So the answer to that question is Exodus 20:4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquity, da. So that's the laws they broke. Very, very good. All right. Popcorn, Amber.
Q, your turn.
Q, your turn. All right, Q. Did Aaron lie to Moses? If so, what did he lie about? What lie did he tell? You muted, son. You muted, Q. You muted. You gotta unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
Oh, my bad,
There
my
you go.
bad. Let me see.
If you don't know the answer, you can popcorn it. So far, Amber and Kobe got points. Nobody else got points.
Yeah, I'm gonna popcorn it real quick.
Okay.
Olivia.
All right, Olivia. You just got popcorned. The third question.
My laptop gave out.
Right here.
The third one?
The third one. Did Aaron lie to Moses? If so, what did he lie? What lie did he tell?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Are the questions like skipped around in Exodus, or this is on the topic as you told us to read?
I don't know.
Never mind.
And that's true. That is the honest truth. I did these questions earlier in the week. I don't even know what all these questions are or what they're even. That's the truth about it. I really don't know.
Bless it.
Bless me. All right. Yeah, better be quiet for Olivia Popcorn, y'all.
No. I mean, I'm looking and I'm only seeing it. He said that they're prone to evil, so it doesn't look like he lied to Moses because they did the wrong thing. They went against Moses and they went against Yahweh, really.
Okay. Anybody else got an answer for that? This is for anybody.
What was the question again?
Number three. Did Aaron lie to Moses? If so, what lie did he tell?
He said the golden calf jumped out the fire.
He said the golden calf jumped out the fire. Who was that?
I'm grown.
Who was that? Huh? That sounds like my auntie.
I've been saying that, nay.
It is. I thought you had muted. Sorry. I just had to get on the call.
That was a good one, though. That is.
Okay,
that's a good one.
I'm gonna mute you out then because you don't count. You can't play.
I know because I'm too grown to be in here playing with the kids.
Yeah, you too grown.
I thought you had muted me. So I'm like, yes, you did.
I didn't know who it was. I thought it was one of my kids, you know, and I was gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you now though.
Well, mute me, please.
Please do.
She
Please.
done gave it.
Okay, you did. All right. So the answer to that question is yes, he did lie about one thing. Let me show y'all what he lied about. So remember when we just read how Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings, and they brought them to Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and he fashioned it with a graving tool. So that means he was actually hammering, like he actually made the image of this calf after he made it a molten calf. And they said, these be the gods. So Aaron actually fashioned this calf with his graving tool, But when Moses came down and got pissed off at him, and let's see. Where is it? Out jumps the golden calf. What did he say that?
24th.
24th?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's talking to Aaron now. And Aaron said, let not the anger of a master wax hot. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief, for they're prone to evil. For they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it in the fire, and there came out this calf. You little lying little son of a gun. It didn't just jump out no doggone calf. He actually made it to be a calf, but out of fear, he actually lied and blamed the people. So what happens when, and we'll pick this up when we read 2nd through the 5th chapter of Genesis. Same thing happened with Adam and Eve. When Yahweh came to Adam, what is this that you have done? What did he do? Instead of taking responsibility for it, he blamed the woman. Well, the woman you gave me, she brought it to me and I did eat. He asked Eve, what is this that you've done? Well, the serpent beguiled me and I did eat. And so the same thing with Aaron. What is this that you've done, Aaron? Well, the people, they told me to, make them a god, and I put it in the fire and out came this golden calf. You made it a calf. He took a graving tool and actually made an image of a calf and put the gold in there and made a calf. But he lied and said that it just jumped out. So thank you, Auntie, for the answer. Olivia, it's still your turn. You got a popcorn to somebody. Olivia, popcorn to whoever you want popcorn to. Just not the iPhone user. Don't popcorn to that person. He's a grown-up.
Peanut.
Peanut is asleep. Try somebody else.
Oh.
You got Jaden, Sean, Paige.
We'll do Paige.
Okay. Paige.
I'm here.
Number 4. What did Yahweh say he was going to do to them when he got mad? In that particular chapter we just read, what did Yahweh say he was going to do to them when he got mad?
Okay. Can I pass it on to someone?
Of course, you can popcorn to somebody. Popcorn.
Okay. I popcorn it to Sean.
All right, Sean Dizzle. What did Yahweh say he was going to do to them when he got mad?
It was Exodus 32 and 10. Now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
That's right. Yahweh was just going to kill all of them. Yahweh wasn't playing no games. So, Sean Dizzle, you got a point? Okay. So, Sean and Cody got points so far. All right, Sean, popcorn to somebody else.
My popcorn to Jaden.
Jaden?
Yes.
What did Moses say? Okay, cool. What did Moses say to get Yahweh to calm down after that? You got to unmute yourself.
All right.
Yes, there you
I feel like it's around 32 verse 11, 12 or 13.
Okay, what is that?
I'm just gonna read all three. And Moses besought Yahweh his Elohim and said, Yahweh, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out to slay them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and consider up this evil against thy people.
Read the next verse. Yep.
Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken I will give. I have spoken of, I will give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahweh considered of the evil which he thought to do unto his people.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's the answer. So Jaden got a point. So let's look at that real quick. Something y'all just showed me. Who is calling my phone and why, Father? All right. So let's look at this real quick. So Yahweh got really upset with them. He was going to kill all of them and just leave Moses alive. He said, Moses, I'm going to make a great nation out of you. I'm just going to start over with you. And Moses started, like, Yahweh, wait a minute. Why are you getting so mad with these people? Your people. Don't do that. Because then if you do that, then the Egyptians are going to say that you brought them out of here just to kill them. Who cares about what the Egyptians think, Moses? This is Yahweh. He didn't kill all the Egyptians anyway. But he's bringing to Yahweh's remembrance what Yahweh said. Then he said, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servant, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. So, why do y'all think he said, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, instead of saying Jacob?
Because he changed his name to Israel.
Yahweh did change Jacob's name to Israel.
He said Israel because he wanted him to reconsider, like, the wrath that he would rain down on Israel. Because, I mean, that's what they were talking about. The children of Israel, they were the ones who had sinned against him.
True, but that's not why he said Israel instead of Jacob.
He's no J.
Well, Jacob, either way. Yeah, of course, no J. But I want the grown-ups. Any grown-ups want to take the stab at this one real quick? Dr. Carter?
Come on, Nene.
Nene? TT? Any grown-up want to take a stab at this one? Why do you say Israel instead of Jacob?
What was the full question again?
In 32 and 13, where it says, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest to thine own. Why didn't he say Jacob instead of Israel? Why did he say Israel instead of Jacob?
Had he not changed his name yet?
Well, Jacob's name was changed to Israel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But had he wrestled with the wait a minute. So he had not changed, or he had already changed his name, is what you're saying.
Yeah, his name was already changed to Israel, but Moses didn't say Jacob. He said, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Why didn't he say Jacob yet?
Because he was known as Israel. Because he had changed his name was changed. And Moses Moses was the one who saw the vision and knew that his name was changed.
He was a promised seed.
He was a promised seed. So this is the Moses has only went into the mountain 2 times so far. He hadn't gone into the mountain the third trip yet. The third trip is when he actually saw when Yahweh changed Jacob's name to Israel. As far as Moses knew, his name was Israel.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So anyway, that was something completely.
His name
Huh?
was already his what Mike said. His name was already changed to Israel, but this
Yeah,
is
his name was
after
already, they
Moses
were
had
already
came
the
out
children
of
of
the
Israel.
mountain. So he
Right.
got it. Okay.
So he already knew his name was Israel already. Yeah. It was just a little inside little thing. All right. All right, adults, y'all can mute yourselves back out. Thank you. All right. So Jaden, who you gonna who you gonna popcorn to, Jaden? Popcorn.
I'm gonna do it to. I'm gonna do it to Amir.
Amir. All right.
Yeah.
Amir, your question is, how did Moses know about the promise that Yahweh made? Chapter and verse.
Aha.
How he know about the promise that Yahweh made with Abraham?
Because what Jaden just read, he said, remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I've spoken of. Well, how did he know about that promise? Because he hadn't seen that in the vision yet, because he hadn't went up the third time yet. So how did he know about that promise? About the land he was going to give them, about the promise he made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Israel.
Oh, hold on, wait. Let me be still.
Yep, that's right.
So you say he got it before he spoke on it, before he saw it in the vision. Genesis, basically.
So how did he know that? Like, how did he know this already?
Was it when Yahweh first revealed himself unto Moses at the burning bush?
Booyah!
Yes, sir.
Booyah! You got it. Yeah. So when y'all remember when Yahweh came to Moses, he said, "I'm the Elohim of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I'm the Elohim. I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and deliver them to the land that I promised unto Abraham, a land flowing with milk and honey." So he had already told him that at the burning bush. So yep, that's correct. That is completely correct. Thank you very much. Amir got that point. Thank you for being still and waiting on the answer. Perfect. All right.
What exact verse is that? Because I kept finding the 19th chapter when he spoke of the covenant, which was the promise that he had already made. But what chapter and verse is that exactly? That
Exodus 3:13 on down.
3:13. Okay, because I know in the 19th chapter he was like, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you should keep up a pure treasure unto me. So he clearly knew about it.
Yep, and then remember 3:13 where it says, "I'm the Elohim of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob," all that right here.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't never get to that. Like, I knew the answer, but I couldn't find the scripture to back it up.
And he said that I just visit you. I have said I will bring you up out of the affliction. So he's telling him I will bring you to the land of Canaanites. Hearken unto my voice. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff. And then remember in the 6th chapter, that's one that we used all the time about how he was known as El Shaddai. And I appeared unto Abraham, Isaac, Jacob as El Shaddai, but by my name Yahweh was not known to them. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan and the pilgrimage and that. So he promised it. That's when he was telling Moses about it before Moses went up into the mountain and actually saw the vision of Abraham and them. He'd already told him about the promise he made with them. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody got that one?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Amir, popcorn. Popcorn.
My friend Amber.
Wow.
Number 7. What kind of noise did Joshua say he heard?
He heard the noise of the people as they shouted. He thought it was a noise of war in the camp. Or he heard a noise of
He
war.
said he heard a noise of war in the camp. Yep. Noise of war in the camp. All right. Popcorn.
Popcorn. Let's see who is on. John Tavius.
John Tavius. Number 8. What did Moses do when he saw the golden calf? Make sure my screen is unmuted. Are you unmuted? No, I'm unmuted. All right, John Tavius, what did Moses do when he saw the golden calf?
Let me find it. Let me see.
Oh, Allison has snuck up in here. Allison is on. Okay, Allie, I see you there.
You said what did Moses do
when he saw the golden calf? When Moses came down and saw the golden calf, what did he do?
Okay. Wait, let me get a second.
Okay. Can y'all see my screen still?
Yeah, we see the questions.
Yeah.
So my suggestion would be to start trying to find some of these answers as y'all are listening to him find his answers. So when it gets popcorn to you, you already have your answer, is my suggestion.
Allie said she been trying to talk and tell us that she was here, but she don't know what's happening with her phone.
She's not muted on Zoom. Maybe you got to get yourself off mute on your own phone, maybe, Allie? Maybe you got it muted on your own phone, but on the app, you're not muted, I mean. We just want to see your big old face anyway. I don't know why you won't just click on the link and join on the Zoom. It'll fit inside the screen. Huh?
Is it when he broke the 10 Commandments?
Yep, he broke the table of stones. That's right.
Good job.
That's right. He broke the table of stones, or the 10 Commandments. And Davis got a point. Yep. Yep. Very good.
So that's what was written on both sides, right, Carla?
It was through and through. That's right. Mm-hmm.
What verse is it?
Allie, there's Allie. That was
19th verse.
19, 20.
32, 19. 32, 19. Hey,
Yeah.
Allie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yay! Okay. Okay. Okay, but
right,
now
so
I'm putting myself on mute. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so 32:19, and it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. So Moses threw down the tables of stones and broke them. All right, then take this popcorn to somebody. Who you gonna popcorn to?
Popcorn. Allison.
Allie. What is number 9? What is the significance or spiritual principle in Moses actually throwing down the tables of stone?
I don't know if this is right, but the 7 and the 3, does that have anything to do with it? I can't see y'all. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
You can't see.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I don't have an exact answer for that, but
okay.
Did you send the questions?
No, we're just doing them right now.
No, okay, because I have notes. I'm at Ashley's house. I don't have my actual notebook, but I highlighted in my Bible on my phone. But I don't have a good answer for that one.
Okay, you can popcorn somebody else. Popcorn.
Popcorn To Jacoby Boston.
He knew it too. That's why he was shaking his head.
I knew it
First
too. I
name
was
I
waiting
saw
on it.
started shaking his head. He started shaking his head as soon as I said it. All right, Kobe. What's the significance or spiritual principle in Moses breaking those tables of stone when he got down from the mountain?
The principle of him doing what? Breaking the stone.
Breaking those tables of stone. When he had the table of stones that Yahweh wrote the 10 Commandment law on, he came down out of the mountain with the 2 tables of stones. And when he saw the golden calf, he got so mad. He threw the table of stones down and broke it. Broke the table of stones that had the law on it. So what's the significance or the spiritual principle in that?
Is it like that's kind of like likened to the world, like these people worshiping other guys and Yahweh being mad and throwing his wrath on people? No, Dude, I don't know. It just kind of
You do
Similar.
know. You know. Kobe, you know it.
When he hear it, he gonna be like, "Oh, I knew
Yes, I know.
that."
I know he gonna know. Like when he hear it, he gonna be
iPhone
like,
user raise their hand. Did you raise your hand, iPhone user, on purpose?
I did.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
This me.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
gonna
You
have,
raised your hand.
I did. I was
Oh.
gonna have.
Oh, you want to take a shot at this, man? You want to take a shot at
Will
this?
you wait till the adults one tonight? Let these
I
children
like
have their
this.
stuff.
I'm
Nah,
jealous
she
because
want to feel
I'm a
young. She want to feel
children. I'm
young.
a children of Yahweh.
That's you. That's right. True.
I might be an
Let these
overgrown
children have their
chicken,
stuff.
but okay, I'm gonna get out. Hallelujah.
Y'all gonna have y'all adult one just like this starting next week.
Oh,
No,
Kobe.
And I
Renee,
want
she
your
want
hand
to
raised
feel
every
young.
time.
need to come out. Would text you and
I'm
help
gonna be.
you because if you get some points, you got to give me half. Good day.
I already got one, baby. Good. It's all right. It's all right, baby. I already got one.
Kobe got one. Amber got 2. Sean got 1. Jaden got 1. Amir has 1. Dontavis has 1. All right. So let's see. You want to popcorn it, Kobe, or you got it? You better catch up, Amber. Up on you by 1. We only got 12 more minutes before we finish this call now.
Can I see your phone charger, please?
I'm a pass it real quick, and then I want somebody to pass it back to me. Like, I need a right assist. I need a right assist.
Throw that alley. Throw the alley, bro. Throw the alley.
Had a right assist. What did you say, Allison? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you, bud.
Oh, I these kids well. Hey, girl. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do it. It's my turn to talk, Allison. Let me,
I can't.
Not
Popcorn.
retard. I'm flash pass Q though. Yeah.
To who?
Q.
Q. All right, Q. Your turn.
What's the spiritual principle of Moses breaking the tables?
Yep.
Basically, children of Israel breaking the law, so their disobedience caused him to break the tables of stone, and yeah. Right?
Carla,
Yeah.
can I point out something real quick? Because I think
Amber, go ahead.
y'all read the verse. It says, that was partially right. It says, Moses' anger grew hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and break them beneath the mount. It's a key word in there that's showing a very good spiritual principle. Like, y'all, it's clear. It's clear. I know y'all are going to show it to y'all because, like, right now, it's like, I'm about to just scream and tell y'all.
Okay, well, you got the point. Go ahead, honey. Go and share it. Go ahead.
So what y'all was showing me is he cast the tables out of his hands. 12th part of when you go to Revelations, they were cast out of heaven unto earth. And so yes, the covenant was broken with the children of Israel, but that's also looking at them being cast out of heaven after the war. So they were cast into the earth, or that symbolize the flesh, the demons, Satan cast out into the earth. So it's the same thing. Like they were worshiping those gods, so they were cast out. The tabernacle, the stone was cast down. The table stone was cast down too. So that's a spiritual principle too. But it is significant because that means that covenant was broken at that time, and they didn't have to keep it anymore. So that's why we are not bound down by that covenant, by the commandments. But we are condemned in our conscience, but we're not condemned the way that they were for breaking that.
Right. Perfect. Also, let me point this out since you said that.
Tables had
Go ahead, Allison. Yep. Go ahead, Allison.
No, I got something to add on to that. I remembered something that I was taught once. Because it was a physical breaking of the stone, and it was like a breaking of the law, but it was because the law is written in our heart, so it physically broke, and it also represented because the children of Israel couldn't keep the law even before it was given to them. So it was like a spiritual break in the it was the difference between physical and spiritual, because the law was then written in our heart.
Right.
Yeah, we're
perfect. We're gonna actually finish that up, and y'all bring out some great points. But Amber, since you brought that up, that so before the children of Israel even got out here, when Pharaoh and his hosts were cast into the sea, remember how it was 666 of them, of his horsemen, all that. So that represents Satan, 666. Well, the physical bodies were they were killed off, but those spirits actually got into the people, and that's what caused them. The satanic spirits is actually what caused them to actually do the things that they were doing. So that kind of picks up that principle. But when Moses, so this is the table of stones. This is Moses actually, when he saw the people, this is him actually getting ready to cast down the table of stones. So this is the tables of stones. You had 7 laws on one side, 3 on the other side. Okay, giving you the 10. Right, giving you the 10 commandments. Now, when Moses, the first set of stones, Yahweh actually wrote it himself on stones that Yahweh had already carved out himself. But then if we keep reading, Yahweh told Moses to hew out 2 tables just like the ones that Yahweh had cut out and wrote on, so Yahweh can actually write on those tables again. And so the first set of laws Moses had to cast down because, for one, he didn't have anywhere to put the law. The tabernacle wasn't built yet, because if you know this story, the table of the table of stones were actually put in the Ark of the Covenant, which is signifying that the law, they couldn't keep it because they didn't have anything in them to keep it. They didn't have anything in them, so this law wasn't in them. So that's why they couldn't keep it. So he broke the law, showing the children of Israel had to break it because they didn't have anything to keep the law with. But the second that Yahweh told Moses to bring up 2, just like the ones that I did for the first one, he wrote the exact same law on the stones that Moses cut out, again, showing that the law was spiritual. It was the same law, but they were carnal. They couldn't keep it. And so the first law had to be broken and moved out of the way, so the new covenant, which is the law of the spirit of life, could be ushered in, and that was placed in the tabernacle, or in the heart and mind of the man. The new covenant was what would be placed in the heart and mind of the man, which is the most holy place, or the man's conscience. Let's pick up the tabernacle. This is where the law was put at, which represents the man. So the spiritual law, or the law of the spirit of life, is actually the one that was put inside the man. Also, when you look at, let's see, let me move y'all out the way for a second. So this golden calf that they were worshiping also picks up, because it was the same substance that they brought up out of Egypt. They used it first to build this golden calf and to worship this golden calf, right? And then after Yahweh told Moses how to construct the tabernacle, they used the same substance to actually construct the tabernacle. And the tabernacle is representing Elohim, and Elohim, he's made up of these same principles in shape and form. So this substance, these vessels represent Yahweh's 9 major attributes: intelligence flanked by wisdom and knowledge, love flanked by beauty and justice, power, foundation, and strength. And so these actually make up the attributes of Yahweh, what it's talking about. When you use carnal or earthly knowledge, you are going to worship things of the world, idolatry and things like that, because the gold is representing wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You follow what I'm saying? And so first they took the wisdom and knowledge and understanding they had and worshiped the things of the world. But then Yahweh had to actually give them a better way, and then they began to work. You see, y'all follow what I'm saying? As far as the substance representing the attributes and how they use that substance first to worship or, for idolatry.
Yeah.
Y'all see that? Y'all following? Okay, cool. So it's a whole bunch of different spiritual principles. But the main thing, when he threw down the table of stones, that was him signifying that the first law will be broken and move out of the way. And let's look at Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, to pick it up in the prophets. So we have it in the law, with Moses actually breaking those tables of stones. You have to pick it up in the prophets as well. And then the Messiah actually fulfilled this. So when you see Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, we're going to pick it up. Let's see. I think this is the right chapter. Stony heart, where is it? Heart of flesh. I think this is it. I can't see crap. Maybe the 38th chapter. Heart of flesh. I looked this up before. Is it 36? It is the 36th chapter. I just can see it. All right, 36th chapter of Ezekiel. Let's see where we're going to start at. All right, let's try this. Good night, I can't find it. It's so many places to go. Okay, let's start 17th verse. So we'll start 36:17. Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the country. According to their way and according to their doings I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name, when they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land. But I have pity for mine holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus says Yahweh, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. Remember, they didn't have anything in them at the time. And so he's saying, I will do these things. So that means it's going to be something that's going to happen later on. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, because it was a table of stones. That law was written on the table of stones. And I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. And ye shall keep my judgments and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. And so basically, this is in the prophets where he talks about taking away that stony heart of those tables of stone, which was physical, and putting a new heart or a new covenant in their mind or in their heart. Does that make sense? Y'all follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. 8:30. Whose turn? Who was it that just answered that question? Q, that was Q. All right, so Q has the popcorn, but we're out of time now, so we're at 8:30 now. So when we start Saturday, Q has a torch. He's gonna actually popcorn it off to somebody. Right now, Amber has the lead with 2 points. Kobe has 1 point. Sean has 1 point. Jaden has 1 point. Amir has 1 point. Jentavis has 1 point, and Q has 1 point. Allie, Olivia, and Paige. Who else doesn't have a point? Yeah, Allie, Olivia, Paige, and Aaron and Peanut. All right, so y'all got a chance to redeem yourself. We got more questions coming up. What I will do, I hope y'all see these questions. I'm not going to send them out because that wouldn't be fair at that point. So you don't be screenshotting. Wait a minute, don't screenshot. What you doing? Don't be cheating. Wait a minute. How is this off the screen? Wait a minute. Hurry up. Don't be cheating. All right. So
yeah, he already had it by the end. He already know it. Airdrop.
So when we start on Saturday, we'll read chapter 32 one more time, so y'all pay attention this time, and then we'll answer the rest of the questions for 32, and then we'll stop there. We'll read chapter 33, and then answer the questions again, but we'll popcorn it to each other, whatever, to get the most points. Oh, he's crying. Oh, bless it.
Look at the lip.
All right, y'all good?
Look at the lip.
You got some big old bottom teeth on you.
Yes, we good.
Night.
Thank you.
Okay, so did y'all learn anything?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Awesome. Of course. Very good. Very good. That's what this is for. Oh, I'm looking so ugly. Bless it. All right, so let's go ahead and conclude with the doxology. Let me put it on the doxology. Hold on just a second. All right, who wants to do the doxology for us?
I'll do it.
I want to.
Okay.
Wait. I think I forgot.
Who is that?
Peanut.
Me? I think I forgot it.
It's on your phone. If you look at your phone, you can read it off your phone, can't you? Let me see your face. I can't see your face. Show your camera.
Oh. Wait, this is it. Oh, dang it. Wait, come back on.
Okay, you got too much noise in your background. Michael's too loud. Go ahead. Do that sound. No, you can show your face. It's fine. Show your face. With your little camera.
There we go. Okay.
Can you see it on the screen? Can you see it right here?
I can't see it. Let me see.
Now to him that is able, remember?
Now is him that is able from keeping from falling, and the present you
present you faultless.
Present you faultless before the presence of his glory with
exceeding joy.
Exceeding your joy.
To the only wise Elohim.
To the only wise Elohim.
Our Savior.
To Yahshua the Messiah, our sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, before our times and ever. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Very good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh my.